4 Mondays and 1 Friday, huh?
It sounds rough and complicated.
Oh, I'm gonna start with a question about something too. I want to bring up for the trainers to see whether or not how you guys felt about it.
Get down.
All right, guys, we are gonna get rolling. We appreciate you guys working with us here this evening on our CDLP call. So most of the call is going to be dedicated this week to the blitz that's happening and the blitzes that are coming up for you to be talking to these companies about. Icebreakers, of course, we know that that's what goes out. We use those for icebreakers. So make sure you're using that for that reason. Let me go ahead and get.
You gonna mute them?
Yeah. Can somebody go ahead and. Hold on.
There you go.
All right. We're gonna be talking about the blitzes, and then we also gonna be talking a little bit in the beginning about identity theft. And Randy Hook is gonna pull up a document to talk about that as well. And I'm sure the document that he's gonna be pulling up, he has either already placed in the Facebook page, or he's gonna place it when we finish here today or during the presentation. So he'll mention that when he comes up on where you can find that document at. So we're gonna get started with that document. And then we're going to go into the blitzes. So again, guys, when we talk about these blitzes, it's not just, we just having conversation on here about the blitzes because they're around. You're supposed to be using this information as an icebreaker to get into the companies. And if you already have companies you're working with, you should be informing, right? You should be educating the safety managers on what's going on, because sometimes they're overwhelmed with other things and they're not really paying attention to specific things that may be going on. So in my experience, I have run into some safety managers that even during the blitz, they don't even realize it's a blitz for them. So sometimes that happens. And if that happens and you inform them and you educate them, it just strengthens the relationship that you have with that safety manager. And when it comes to maintaining your accounts, getting your residual income, you've heard Lamar mention it several times. When we came into 2021, the CDL plan is backloaded. So the longer they hold on to it, the more money you're going to make. So it's important to have that relationship tight, strong, and this kind of information will help with that, as well as get you into new accounts if you don't know what to say when you walk in the front door or pick up the phone and make that phone call. So we're going to get started with our introductions first. And then after that, I'm going to ask a question to the trainers about a specific scenario. And then I'm going to turn it over to Randy so he can open up with the identity theft information, and then we can go into the blitzes. So, Ms. Sharanda Ivy, I'm gonna turn it over to you first. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dunbar. I appreciate that. And good evening, everyone. My name is Sharanda Ivy here in Byron, Georgia. I've been with LegalShield now for 8 years. Business Solutions, Sapphire, Elite Associate, Special Forces Small Biz Associate. We've earned the Production Award for 1,000 Personal Apps, earned the Ladies of Justice Award for Field Trainer of the Year as well. And just been able to focus on this part of the business, been full-time with LegalShield for the last 8 years. And definitely, we don't leave any money on the table. We're certified in everything, but we focus on the solution side. A few years ago, started to focus on this division. Just found my niche here, and CDLP is my major, and people like Dunbar and Lamar has taught me how to really just master this. And so I've really just focused on the solutions part of the business by cross-selling here in the CDLP space. And so just blessed to be a part of this call, come to this call to learn as well. I actually host the accountability call on Thursday nights, more like a mastermind, like a fireside chat. Those individuals are just sharing what their daily activity and challenges are, and together they have definitely began to make their mark out here in solutions. A lot of them was recognized this past expo with new groups and a lot of the incentives. And a lot of those people were from that mastermind group. So just so honored to be able to work with individuals who are focused on this space. And with that, I'll pass it over to you, Randy Lamar. Randy Lamar.
Well, thank you, Sharonda. Folks, it's a pleasure and honor to be on the call. I've been with LegalShield since 2008, and I've worked all aspects of the business and still do. I've got quite a few associates and what have you. So I work the network and business side, also broker side. So, but we've started focusing on CDL about January of 2019. By October, we had made the $50,000 ring, and it continues to be my choice of space to work in because with education to the drivers buy this product. So if I can get to where I'm a good educator and can educate them as to what we do and how we do it, they buy the product and I don't have to try to sell it. All I have to do is get in front of them and educate them. And so that's what I've focused on doing. We've got a 1,000 app award, $50,000 ring and so forth. So we just love working with the CDL space, and I'll let Lamar go.
Okay, Mr. Randy, thank you so much. This is Lamar Reynolds out of Houston, and it's an honor to be on the call here tonight. And I've been with LegalShield now a little over 16 years, and I've been a CDLP trainer for I think it's about 13 years. Oh, no, 12 years. And I've been selling the CDLP membership for 13 years. And I just get up each day and I go out into the marketplace and sell to transportation. I love calling on drivers and calling on companies. And in doing that, I've sold over 5,000 personal memberships. I'm working on 6,000 right now. And I've been able to get the 50,000K ring and also the 100,000K ring. I'm part of the Special Forces and Solutions Elite. And it's just a lot of fun selling in the lane of transportation. It's like Randy and Sharonda just got through talking about. We sell all the different products from ID Shield to LegalShield to CDLP to the gun program, all of the different small biz. We sell all of those products, but we do it through the vein of transportation. And I just love calling on trucking companies. That's just my niche. I just love that type of business out there. So that's the reason all you folks are plugged in on this call on Monday night, is to learn some nuggets, help you along the way to get your sea legs, so you learn how to go after transportation. And we give you some great nuggets in the past months. The decision maker script that I've made available to you guys, that right there, everybody should have that on their clipboard and use that. But tonight, we're going to be talking about what's happening in the third quarter. And we're already in the third quarter, July, August, and September. And we got to hit it in the third quarter because we don't have anything on the calendar yet for the fourth quarter, but we've got some great opportunities on the board for the third quarter. And I'll be talking about those a little bit later. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Robert.
All right, good stuff. So appreciate you guys all for being on with us. As trainers and field trainers that assist us as well. We got Sharon Holiday in the background, letting everybody in who is the field trainer here with LegalShield as well. So thank you guys again for being with us. My name is Robert Dunbar. I've been training with LegalShield on the networking side for 6-7 years, on the CDLP business solution side 3 or 4 years. Love training, love working with the company. I love building the business. So I do work the networking side and the business solution side as well. I'm a 100K ring earner. I've got 250K ring earners on my team. And we put this platform together just simply because we knew that once you get certified, you're not qualified. And we also knew that as you go about your day in CDLP, as you do business solutions and you particularly work this marketplace, it could get hot and heavy out there. And we know you need something to plug into. So once you get yourself certified, you say, hey, look, I crossed that line. I've got my certification. Now let me go to the YouTube channel and look at the videos so I can learn a little bit more, right? Let me come to the Facebook page so I can plug in and ask questions and see people that are being recognized for opening groups. I just saw just this morning where somebody posted thanking Sharanda Ivy for helping them open their first group with a small business plan and an add-on and some other things, right? We like to see that stuff. We like for people to say, hey, I opened up my first group with the help of a qualified field trainer. Make sense? So that's what those pages are for. And then this call every Monday is so that you got something to plug into so that you'll know what's happening, because we're talking about the blitzes that are coming. Everything on this call is real time. On this Zoom is real time. So if you want to know what's happening in CDLP right now, every Monday, we're talking about what's happening right now. That's why we're talking about blitzes that are happening right now. Between the 11th and the 17th, the speeding blitz, we're going to cover that so that you know what's happening in that space while you're out there talking to truck drivers and trucking companies. On Thursdays, when you say, look, I've got my certification, I've looked at some videos, I'm working with a field trainer, I'm moving in a space of really getting to a point to I'm being like a Lamar Reynolds, and I'm now saying I get up every morning and I make calls to get into CDL groups. Now comes the accountability. When you plug into Sharanda's accountability call, and now you've got other people that are actively working in the business that you can become workout partners with that are doing CDL, guys. So that's pretty much the path that you should be taking if you're wondering what to do, because people always call and say, what do I do next? I got certified. Well, that's what you should do. Go to the YouTube channel, look at videos, plug into the Monday call, right? Work the business. Once you start working, you start making calls, get on the Thursday call, get your accountability. Now you're on 2 calls a week. You're making dials every day. You're getting on the blitz on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock in dialing CDL. That's pretty much all it takes, guys. And then everything else will kind of fall in place as you do that. So I've got a quick question I'm going to ask the trainers before we get started about something that came up. And I know there may be different opinions on it. That's why I want to bring it to the trainers, because I don't like to answer questions from my point of view only. I like for everybody to talk about it because different states operate differently and things of that nature. So I've gotten in the habit of not really booking decision maker appointments or decision maker Zooms in CDLP space on Mondays, because Mondays are just not a good day for safety managers in CDLP because they're coming off the weekend and they got tickets and maybe vehicles that had accidents or whatever may have happened. That's been my experience. Maybe it's the kind of trucking companies I've gone after or whatever the case may be. But I had a young lady today that I was working with on the field training space, and she had a decision maker Zoom, and the decision maker didn't show up to the Zoom. And I was explaining to the young lady, hey, look, don't schedule decision maker Zooms on Monday with a safety manager, because a lot of times the safety manager is really caught up on Monday, even if they don't realize they're going to be. Sometimes people don't know what they don't know. Even though every Monday is hectic for some people, in their mind, they don't think that their Mondays are hectic. So it's really interesting that we heard Randy say, this is the first Monday. Sometimes he has 3 or 4. But some people don't live in their own reality of saying Monday is really a tough day, depending on what you do for a living, right? Sometimes Mondays are the hardest day of the week, but sometimes we don't ever admit to that in our own minds. So that's you have to control your own business, meaning that I know in the world that I work in, that the safety manager that I've called on and tried to set things with, Mondays have not been a good day. So now I don't even allow that to be a day that I schedule a decision maker appointment. So if I'm talking to Randy or Lamar or Sharanda and I'm booking an appointment with them, I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm available anytime Tuesday through Saturday when it's going to be good for you. I'm not even going to leave Monday as an option, because they may choose Monday and then not even realize until Monday morning when they come in that they don't have the time. And I don't want that to happen. I want to control my own business. So I don't normally book on Mondays, but I wanted to open that question up to the other trainers to see how they deal with that, to make sure that, that's not just something that I'm going through, so that people can have a proper answer from across the board. So I'm going to turn it over to Sharanda first, ladies first, and then Sharanda, you can go ahead and turn it over to Randy or Lamar after you answer.
Okay. Well, Mondays, personally, I don't really book a whole lot of appointments on Mondays. Even when it comes to follow-up appointments, I've had a couple of decision makers say they might say Monday first, but personally I say, well, Monday's kind of busy for me, and I'm sure it's probably busy for you. So let's do another day. So learning more about the industry and working in the industry more myself, I wouldn't volunteer Monday. But if it's something they was persistent about, of course I would take it. But Mondays and Fridays, I tend to not try to book a whole lot of appointments on, because Mondays are hectic. And mornings are hectic too, for most clients, because the companies that I focus on are smaller companies, and they're trying to move their trucks. And so they tend to be a little bit more busy in the mornings. And Monday morning seems to be really, really busy, or, I found in the past. And so I try not to do that on Mondays. And with the companies that I prospect, I don't even do Zooms. Because half of them don't know what Zoom is. And then they just don't have the time to be jumping on video. And so Fridays, I found that a lot of them in the mornings are doing payroll. Because again, it's the smaller companies that I'm personally dealing with. So that's been my experience, Dunbar. And that's been through trial and error. So I always tell people just try it for themselves, because their client are not my client. So their client might pick up, it might not be a deal for them. But for the clients I've had and the experience I've had, I don't typically try to book anything on Mondays and Fridays.
So real quickly, I'm glad you brought something up that's important for people to understand, because I said that I mentioned you kind of said, yeah, you mentioned that if they're persistent. So with me, I won't even put Monday on the calendar as an option. If that person wants, like you said, they're adamant about doing Monday because they know their schedule and they know Monday they can meet, I'm not going to lose an appointment because of that. I just generally won't do a Monday because I know that they'll be hectic. But it's important that you said that, because I don't want anybody to think that you're going to go back and forth with somebody about a Monday. If you set an appointment with somebody and they're adamant about Monday, guys, give them Monday. It's the same thing with payroll versus bank draft. I try to shoot for bank draft. If that company wants to do payroll, I'm not going to try to talk them off of that. I'm not going to lose the whole deal about payroll and bank draft. If they want to do payroll and that's what they're really wanting to do, then that's what we're going to do. So, the customer kind of is right on that. I kind of want them to, do it the way that they're comfortable doing it. I just try to suggest certain things that I know have worked better for me in my business in CDLP in the past, and I'm moving that in that space. So thanks for that. Thanks for mentioning that. If they're adamant about doing it, then to go ahead and do it. So, Randy, if you can speak to that and then pass it on to Lamar, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, I don't do Mondays or Fridays, either one, for DM meetings. Now, I will be glad to meet with drivers on those days if that's the days that the company wants me to meet with them for certain reasons or what have you. But like Sharanda said, Mondays are always hectic for safety managers and stuff. And so I always busy myself with either talking to drivers or office work and other things that I need to get done and pull up for the next few days. And then Friday, of course, if there's a time that they're going to try to get out early or what have you, if I do a Friday, it's going to be before lunch for certain, because a lot of time they're getting out of there early on Friday afternoon if they can, and trying to get a little head start on the weekend. If they've got any managerial position at all and they can pull that off, they're going to. So once again, I don't mind talking to drivers, but as far as DM meeting, I don't like most people, I think, and even tomorrow probably will be the same way. Just Monday and Friday are not good days for that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday seem to be better. Over to you, Lamar.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think both Sharanda and Randy both made some very good points. And Sharanda really gave a good view on the smaller type accounts out there. But in the bigger accounts, still, Monday morning, it can be very hectic. And so if you've got to make a call or you think you have to make a call, make it late morning. Okay. And so I have found Monday morning and mid-afternoon on Friday, just like Randy's talking, can be very questionable for transportation. So mid-morning on Monday and late afternoon on Friday, it's going to be difficult. And I love to do walk-ins, and I'm speaking from experience of walking into that account. It's very difficult to really find the people there, and you might find them there, but they don't have time for you. And even on new driver orientation classes, you'll find that most of those are during the week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so it's just a better time during the week if you're going to make calls early morning, late afternoon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is really good. I wouldn't tell a person not to make a prospect call on Monday or Friday. If you do, just make it late morning, and then or Monday afternoon, or on Fridays, make it late morning and early afternoon. That's what I would recommend out there. Now, some of those smaller accounts, the decision maker, like Sharonda's talking about, is wearing multiple hats. They're the owner, they're the dispatching, and they're the safety person. They're all three in one. So, I mean, in that type of situation, and the little smaller, I'd say under 25 drivers, Mondays are really hectic for them. And all day Friday is really hectic for them because in the little smaller operations, drivers are coming in to pick up their paycheck on Friday afternoons. And guess what they're doing on Friday morning? They're preparing for that. And they don't have time to really make a prospect for us to come in and meet with them. So the bigger the account, now a safety director that you're calling on will start to be a little bit more freer because they have other people in the operation that is taking care of that. But still, Monday morning and Friday afternoon, you'll find that even a safety director is going to be tied up. But Mr. Robert, that's what I have to add to the conversation.
All right, good stuff. No, I appreciate that. So that's good. I hope you all guys got something out of that, because I know some of you guys may have been prospecting on Monday. And look, that's why we always say, take a look at what's happening with your business. If you track things, it gives you an opportunity to see what your ratio is, what days you do better on, and those all come into play. So if you've been prospecting on Monday or setting up calls on Mondays and things like that, and they haven't been going well, so look at your notes. Are you reaching out to people on Mondays and then reaching out to people on Tuesdays and getting way more people to answer on Tuesday? That's probably sending you that sign that Mondays is not a good day. So maybe you should be using that day to schedule some things, or using that day to do something else that you should be doing in this space. Maybe not making those direct calls because that may not be a good day. So look at your notes and see what's happening. If you're calling in your area on Mondays, and in a certain kind of trucking company that you call it, and you get them to answer, then Mondays work fine for you, right? If they answer the phone and you get an appointment set, then Mondays obviously work for you. But take a look and see if you're not getting as many people to answer on a Monday, and it might be because of the things that you just heard the trainer say. Sharanda?
I was going to say also, I just forgot. God, I just forgot.
You said
I was going to say, we say that here in CDL, but across the board, when you on any solutions, I mean, I've learned that ever since I've been in LegalShield. Most solutions producers, say, Monday, they don't tend to do prospecting dials. Most of them don't, but like you said, and I always say this to people because people like to always ask, what's a good time to call? What's a better day to call? Well, your prospect is not my prospect. So your prospect may be available on that day that my prospects aren't, you know what I'm saying? So, I do know, since I've been in LegalShield, you can, a lot of the producers, big producers, are like, Lamar and Randy, all them, the other solutions space, they say, Mondays they have found Mondays not to be the best days for prospecting dials. So, but again, your prospect is your prospect. See what works for you.
No,
I
absolutely.
just wanted to share that about, just in solutions in general, that a lot of your solution producers will tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%. L. Tim put something in a chat too, saying Mondays and Fridays he doesn't call. He does. He said he realized that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are the best day to make calls. And I think L. Tim meant in general. I don't think he even meant CDLP. I think he meant just calling B2B. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday seem to be the best days. So thanks for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Randy Hooker because he's got a document to share and a talk to have with us. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to you, Mr. Randy Hooker.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The only thing I'll add to that is, let's see corporate set their blitz on Tuesday morning. That ought to be a hint. Anyhow, so.
True that.
I wonder why they said it on Tuesday morning.
True that.
All right, guys, this is a quick article here, just a second. And it's guarding your data. Take caution, especially while on the road. This guy here is Scott Reed, and he was an owner operator. He was pulled over by the sheriff's department. If you read it a little bit, that they run his license, and the officer told him that there were 8 warrants out for his arrest. I don't know about you, but that would just absolutely scare my bejeebies off. It was quite a shock to him too. He now works as an independent dispatcher and radio show host. He told the officer that he couldn't even think of 8 things he'd done to get a warrant. But what it was, his identity had been stolen, and the warrants were issued for a man. Now you look at this picture. The warrants were issued for a man that was 5'10", 130 pounds, with blue eyes and light brown hair. Of course, you can see that Reed is 6'2", 400 pounds, and brown eyes and black hair. So, it's a matter of you're innocent, you're guilty until you can prove you're innocent with identity theft. And it's been 4 years at the time of this article. It's been longer than that now. But at the time of this article, it was 4 years that his identity, they'd been working on it. And the 8 warrants were issued in 6 different states. So in other words, his identity was sold to different people that used it. They had bought 2 new cars and wrote checks of over $6 grand. Guys, this is the type of stuff that these truckers can get into because they're real vulnerable. If you look here to the financial woes and stuff, their driver's license, because it's a routine practice that they have to give it to everyone that they want to go to work for. So therefore it's out there quite a bit, and a lot of people could have access to it. They have to give it to the shippers. And also there's pumps, ATMs. They aren't at home to get their mail, so somebody can go through their mail quite a little bit. Their own Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi networks all over the place at truck stops and stuff. And so they're very easily hacked there. They could have cargo theft. Somebody could get enough information about them and go and hook up to one, or go to one of their pickups for cargo and go take it and not even deliver it or anything, and then get them paid for it. So the truckers are very vulnerable. So I just wanted to bring this up. This article lets you know that our identity theft is very prevalent for a truck driver. It is something that we ought to share with them quite frequently or what have you. And I don't know if I've put this article on the Facebook page or not. If I haven't, I'll look. If I haven't, I'll put it up there if y'all want it. Also, right quick, I want to share this with you. Indiana state troopers, if you know anybody in Indiana, or if you're from Indiana up there, the state troopers are now going to be riding with some of the commercial drivers. And what they're looking for, if you read this article, is they're looking for automobiles. They say, if you're headed throughout Indiana Wednesday, the 14th, beware, because you may not be the only one on the road going the same place you are. as the truck drivers going where you are, if you cut them off or if you impede their traffic or what have you, they've got a chopper in the air and they're going to be after those people with, and they're going to find them and have a car pull them over because of this. This has caused so many accidents, and they understand that some of the time it's not the driver the truck driver that causes the accident. It's the other people, and they have dangerous traffic violations as far as ignoring where the truck is, cutting them off, doing different things. And so I just thought that might be interesting to share with you a moment too. And then Lamar, do you want me to pull up your?
Yeah, I'd like to make a couple of comments on what you just showed, Randy. And in the state of Texas and other states have officers that will ride with truck drivers. And that officer in the truck is in, and a lot of times if they don't have a chopper in the air, there'd be another police car up front. And they're watching for people that's driving crazy, the four-wheelers, cutting off trucks and all kinds of different things. And they're calling to another officer that is pulling them over. So that's a common practice that is happening out there. So, but it sounds like in Indiana, that could be a focus, as Randy was just talking about. So FYI, you people from Indiana, you have something to talk about. And also, speaking of identity theft, through the years, I have had quite a few drivers that had their CDL compromised. And most of them is from these little small trucking companies they went to work for, left and went to another company, and they had the information on their CDL. And, you know, college students are really smart on these driver's licenses. You know, they can lift your picture off, put their picture on, and now they're driving under your driver's license, getting tickets. And the courts and the police are looking for you, not the person that's got your driver's license. And I've had quite a few drivers that I have never been to Idaho and I got a ticket out there, Mr. Reynolds. What is going on? And so identity theft is something that we need to mention. I have to admit, I know Randy mentions ID Shield a lot in his presentations. And I've got to get into the habit of mentioning it because if the driver's going through it, I have an opportunity to sell that membership. Okay, now moving on, and Randy has got it up there, and we're in the midst of the speeding blitz that is going on right now, July the 11th through the 17th. And I'm just going to make a statement here. We're already halfway through this year. The third quarter, we're going to provide to you. We hadn't got it on the calendar yet, but we have got in September the Driver Appreciation Week. And if you want to make a note, it's September the 12th through the 18th. And I'm going to come to that last, and I'm going to talk about what we can do that week. But every month in the third quarter, we have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're going to come off of the starting block and sell some memberships and get some groups maybe under your wing, these are the 3 months you need to do it. And so you're in the midst of the speeding blitz, July the 11th through the 17th. And they're out there as we speak. And what I have told my drivers out there and the safety directors to tell their drivers, do not speed 1 mile an hour over the speed limit this week, because they will be running radar on every commercial vehicle that they see. And they will also be watching for trucks changing lanes without the blinker on. And sometimes 18-wheelers are bad. I mean, they'll go across 3 lanes without the blinker on and following too close. All of those are serious violations. And so they're going to be really targeted in July. Now, this gives you a talking piece. This gives you an opportunity to email certain companies this document and ask for an appointment. Or if you're making progress in that company, you can take, I love to just, I've got a bunch of these in my car that is printed out. And even though I may have already told them about it 2 or 3 months ago, I'm still taking them copy in. And Clarence, I'm giving them these copies. They may have multiple copies, but I'm just reinforcing it, even in a safety meeting or new driver orientation class, or just walking into the company. I'm doing that all the time, and they appreciate that. So there is a way you can catch that prospect or that customer's attention. And then we're coming up in August, and this is a big one. The speeding thing is going to be high profile, but this break week, which is coming up August the 22nd through the 28th, they will write a lot of tickets on break week. And when they crawl up under that truck, they're going to find all kinds of different things wrong. So break week is always a big ticket item. And so what I'm telling my companies out there, that their maintenance supervisor, and the bigger companies have a maintenance guy on staff. They need to be bringing those trucks through and letting that maintenance supervisor be checking the brakes and make sure they're in adjustment. And they need to start doing that on their fleet, especially if they have 200 or 300 trucks. He needs to start at the beginning of August. And probably those brakes will stay in adjustment through August. But this is a big ticket month. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is driver appreciation. And this is really, out of these two, now those are good attention getters, and you can get into prospects and really get attention in your customers. But the driver appreciation really gives you an opportunity to show up. It may be a prospect, and they love us because me and Mr. Freddie Gibson, he's on this call tonight, and we did it was kind of like a safety meeting, but we did something special there, and we had some giveaways, and we gave away a few things. But a driver appreciation, all you got to do is walk into the prospect or the customer and say, hey, are you having a barbecue? Are you going to do something special for your drivers on September the 12th through the 18th? And most of them will say yes. Well, I would have liked to attend that, and I have some giveaways. And when you say that, guess what? They want you to show up. Well, all I need is a little table there to represent LegalShield. Now let's talk about what you're going to do. So you're going to have a lot of drivers coming in and getting those barbecue sandwiches or brisket or whatever. They're focused on eating. So what we want to be focused on is getting their information. And I have me one of these big glass fish bowls there on my table. Okay. And me and Mr. Freddie had these little theater tickets, that you can tear off. They're okay. And some of them have doubles. You can tear them apart. And the one that they put in our fish bowl, I want their name and phone number. Okay. So I'm getting everybody's name and phone number. And we also, when me and Freddie Gibson did that presentation, we had a clipboard going around the table for them to sign up if they wanted a copy of one of these 2 blitzes. Okay. And let me tell you, they want a copy. Those drivers want a copy of this blitz information, and they'll give you their email address. But what I'm driving at, I'm getting the names and the phone number of all of those guys coming through. And I'm giving away, I went over to Walmart, or actually Freddie went over to Walmart and he got some Walmart gift certificates. I went to HEB, which is a big grocery store here in Texas, and I got my gift certificates. And guess what they were? Clarence, if you had to guess, how much was a gift certificate? $29.95. And guess what that represents? The cost of 1 month of our program. Okay? And so when we give away those gift certificates, that represents the first month of your membership. Now, when I'm working by myself, I will just go and I'll buy at least 4 or 5 of those. Okay? And as they come by my table, they're getting a brochure. I'm giving them sales information as they come by. And hey, after you get through eating your sandwich, hey, come back and let me go through this information with you. Now, I'll have some of them, probably 25 to 30% will come back, and I can do my 1-minute presentation for them to sell something right there on the spot, okay? But I'm getting everybody's name and phone number that I will follow up. And if I got their email address, I will send them the video, the CDLP video, okay? And if you don't know how to get the video, maybe we'll talk about that some. But it's in the prospect funnel, the CDL video, and it's just a little link there. You can grab it, put it in an email, and they can click on it and watch the video. Matter of fact, I sent out 5 of those this afternoon to people that I had met today. So anyway, I just wanted you to be prepared for the driver appreciation, and that should be our focus of getting in there. If it's a prospect, great. If it's a customer, that's great. But I'm just letting you know, you need to have brochures, you need to have a little table there, you need to have the fishbowl, and you need to have some giveaways, gift certificates. And I love to do the $29.95, and that represents the first month. And those people that win usually sign up. So I just wanted to, Robert, I just wanted to tell everybody about that and how important it is in the third quarter to really focus on these blitz. And we provided you literature on that for the calendar. And me and Mr. Randy, we're going to find some articles for driver appreciation, okay? And we're going to have to flush that out, Mr. Randy, and find one that we can post for everybody.
We'll do it. I'll find one and get it going.
Yeah. Well, I just Googled right as we were coming on Driver Appreciation Week, and it told me the dates, and it had a pretty good article, Randy, there. But we'll find a good article for you folks. So you'll have an article for July, you'll have an article for August, and you'll have one for September. So that is the third quarter. And things start to get a little picky as you go into the fourth quarter, transportation. So we'll have something for you in the fourth quarter as well. But anyway, we got a great opportunity in the third quarter. Please take advantage of it. And Mr. Robert, I will turn it over to you, sir. Randy, you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm looking
I
for.
was about to ask whether Randy and Sharanda had anything to add to that.
I have another little piece of paper I'm looking for. Y'all go ahead.
Okay.
If I can find it here, I'll show it here in just a second.
Those are some great door openers. I during the blitz last week when I was making new dials, you know, just having conversations with some of the owners, and it was about 5 of them that I just sent that out to.
Yeah.
The response I always get is, we just had that. We just had one of those in May. And I say, yeah, you know, it's just another one though. We haven't, you know, this one is focusing on speeding. This is the safety. And it's funny how they just don't know, you know. And that's why I try to tell associates, if you just have a little conversation, you'll find out you know a whole lot more than they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you know, like I said, after I got done, it was about 5 of them I sent the information to. But just asking questions and just bringing that up, they become interested in what you're saying because you're bringing some knowledge. So thank you for that, for sharing that. And just putting that out there early on, like for August. You know, this is the time now you want to talk to them so they can check their trucks.
That's right.
You don't want to wait till the week of and the truck's already on the road. You want to give them a heads up, again, to be a good consultant, just to inform them so they can, go ahead and check their trucks and make sure that, nothing's wrong. So that's all I would like to share.
Randy, did you find your,
Haven't yet. Y'all go ahead. I'm looking.
hey, Robert, I'm gonna turn it over to you, but I'm just thinking, I see Mr. AJ on the call here and he's smiling right now. It might be good, Robert, that we get a little update from his big account of what he's got going on, because he's had a lot of success.
Yeah, I saw him posting, putting in a chat that that because of the shortage in drivers, that his company is hiring and the other companies are hiring drivers right out of trucking school and things like that. So AJ, if you wanna speak to that real quickly, go ahead and open up your mic, brother.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening. Well, basically, the company that I'm doing my orientations is that their criteria was 2 years of driving with no record. They would hire those people for their company. But because there's a shortage of drivers, there's a shortage of about 50,000 drivers in the US. So now they are hiring drivers 6 months to a year experience, because there's so many loads and so many trucks are on the yard that they need those trucks running. And so when I talked to the owner, he said, yeah, they're gonna hire people right off of the school. And he said we need LegalShield to be mandatory. He was very adamant about it. And he told his safety managers in 4 locations that LegalShield has to be mandatory and in order for them to come on board. And they're going to pay the extra for the mileage to cover those costs of the LegalShield plan. So it's a win-win situation. But because they're new drivers, he wants everybody to have LegalShield membership, because number one, the new drivers are coming in and they're getting new equipment, and they just found out in last 30 days they had 4 crashes. One of them was fatal. So they want to have every driver to have a LegalShield plan, no matter what. So that's what I want to put out, is that now drivers, because there's a driver shortage, other companies are doing the same because they're just snatching drivers because there's so much of shortage of drivers. So that's what they're doing. Hey,
AJ, are they doing a sign-up bonus?
Yes, they are doing sign-up bonus. Their sign-up bonus starts at $15,000. It's a 2-year program.
There you go.
So they go ahead, and then once they come to orientation and they complete the orientation, they get $500 bonus. Yep. Just for completing orientation and getting the first load.
There's a lot of companies here in Texas that's doing 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. But what they're doing when they first sign on, like AJ is saying, they maybe get $500. They don't give all that money up front. They get it in different periods of time, over a period of time. They got to stick around to get that $3,000 or that $5,000. And they've got to be there at that company 6 months, probably a year, to get all of that money. So that's another thing that companies are doing out there to recruit drivers. But absolutely, there's a lot of companies looking for drivers right now.
Yep.
There's a lot of freight to be moved.
And also a golden nugget for the small business plan for the trucking company. Now, most of you on the call may not know about Freight Guard. I know you know about Freight Guard. It's basically a credit agency for broker and shippers.
Mhm.
So one of my companies, they were enrolled in the small business plan, and one of the companies did a bad remark on their company for not picking up a load because of one or two reasons. And they called LegalShield, and LegalShield wrote a letter. And basically, I'm going to read it really quickly. This is dear Raul, and this is the I can't see it, but this is notice to cease and desist specific activity. Dear Raul, our office were contacted by Mr. Singh regarding a potential business disparagement case against you. DTX Trans Inc. is the respected business within the community. Your unlawful false statement about the company severely damages its professional reputation. Under the laws of California, it is unlawful for an individual to make deliberate false statement with the intent of harming another business livelihood by intentionally choosing to make deliberate false statement and post about DTX Trans Inc. You have exposed yourself to potential civil liability. In order to avoid any further legal action taken against you, we ask that you remove any defamatory posts about DTX Transportation Inc. from all sites within 48 hours of receipt of this letter and refrain from making any more defamatory or disparaging statement about DTX Trans Inc. in the future. Thank you. That notice within 20 hours, not even 20, 12 hours, everything was cleared out. The owner called me up and says, this is amazing. He says, for $180, I get a letter that now, our name is cleared from Freight Guard. So he gave me 10 other referrals.
Wow.
I got 10 other referrals getting the small business plan.
Yeah,
And-
freight cars are serious business. That can kill a company quick.
Yes.
That's what brokers check real quick. It's called Freight Guard, Connie, Freight Guard, and that's where they go against the company. Like if they don't like how the carrier moves the load, if the carrier cancel a load for whatever reason, just anything that the broker is not happy with, they'll put a freight guard on the carrier. And so when the carrier goes to get a load from another company, they'll check that freight guard site, which is 411. Carrier 411 is what it's called for brokers. And they'll check that site. And if they have what they call a freight guard on them, they won't do business with them.
And I've said this before on this call. Once you have an account and something good has happened, ask for referrals.
Mhm.
AJ just got 10 right there. It's not uncommon. If you've done a good job at a company, and Mr. Randy's had a few of these as well. If you've done a good job, ask for referrals. They will give them to you. They
Yeah.
have friends in transportation, and they will send you down the road to see different safety directors. And let me tell you, there's no gatekeeper on those situations. When you walk in there, I'm here to see so-and-so, and his friend down the street at Empire Truck Lines just sent me to see you. Well, if he sent you, have a seat. I'm eager to hear what you've got to say. And it's just that easy. When you get a referral, the doors are open. All you got to do is show up. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Okay, AJ, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
That was some great information. Mr.
All
Robert.
right, good stuff. And real quickly too, because I saw in the chat, I wanted to give Sharon Holiday, because I saw her in the chat put something when we were talking about Mondays. I saw you put something, not Sharon, I'm sorry, Sharon, about that's the admin day for you. How do you deal with your Mondays? I know you in the field doing CDLP as well. If you could mention that real quick before we close out, that'd be good.
Right. Admin days definitely is Monday because they're trying to put out a fire from the weekend and or from that Friday when they left work. And so it's not a good thing for, well, to me, for any B2B person to call companies on admin. I don't make my calls until after 1:30, 2 o'clock for a Monday. And on Fridays, I sort of just play it by ear with the Friday, because 9 times out of 10, somebody else is calling me, so I can't make calls out. But I don't do anything. I try not to schedule any appointments, any DM appointments during from 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m. up until 1:30. It's just strictly admin, me catching up with groups myself, with corporate, and ironing out anything that was left off from Friday from myself. So that's all I have to say, Mr. Dunbar. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You got it. You got it. So Sharanda, Randy, Lamar, anything before we close out?
Yeah, I got, I wanna share this. Guys, Lamar said he had a fish bowl. This is what we use on our fish bowl.
I like that. Yeah.
And whenever you print this, there's 10 of those little pieces of paper that you can cut in an 8.5 by 10, even though it's in Excel. Whenever you file and print, it prints on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it prints 10 different ones of these. I'll put this in the file section for everybody to use. You can print that thing off. And the reason that we said free legal app is because we're able to put them in Prospect by LegalShield for them to get the app under our name. That ties them to us for 6 months. And that's what we use this for.
I really like that, Randy. I do. I gotta have that. Yeah. Gotta have that one.
So
that will be perfect for your September Driver Appreciation Week. Make sure you get that from Mr. Randy. I guess you're going to post that in Facebook?
yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. There's another nugget.
All right, guys, call full of nuggets, right? So I just dropped in a chat, guys, the registration for the July 24th CDLP certification training. So Alan Roman and myself will be training on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. We will be doing that CDLP certification training for the month of July. That's July Saturday, July 24th. In the chat is the link to register for that training. So let's touch that training, and it'll have you log into your back office, or LS Engage, I should say, and then you can get yourself registered for that class. It's $49 for that class, and I'll get a post up on the CDLP Facebook page as well. So thank you guys again for joining us this Monday night. We appreciate it. Great call, great information. If you missed anything, if you jumped on late, remember, all you got to do is go out to the Facebook page. Excuse me, not the Facebook page. We can go to the Facebook page too. But right now, immediately, you can go to the YouTube channel to just go to Robert at Robert Dunbar or Training by Dunbar, whichever one you'll find the page, and pull up the channel, and you'll see that the this video is on there live right now. So you can go ahead and click and just replay it. It's not edited yet, so you're gonna kind of get the raw deal with what we just got here, but I'll get it edited here in the next day or two. But right now, you can go and listen to whatever you missed. So that's it. So if none of our other trainers have anything to mention, we're gonna go ahead and close out, guys. So we appreciate you guys all for being here again for another evening. We look forward to seeing you guys again on next Monday for our CDLP Sales Motivation Training.
Thank you much. Appreciate you guys, all of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
y'all.
guys.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Brother.
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
helping out.
All the research. Thank you, Robert.
Have a great week.
Enjoy being vertical.
I know that's right, brother.
Greg,
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you
AJ.
next week. AJ, special
Right.
thanks to you, babe. Congratulations.
Good night.
Good night.
Signing off. Thank you. Have a great week.
Good night, everyone.
You as
Thank
well,
you.
Lamar. Thanks.
Look for those blessings. They're going to be out there. I intentionally look for them, Clarence.
blessings.
I get up in the morning and ask the Lord to bless me, and I'm looking for those blessings every
Amen,
day.
brother.
Every day.
Good night, all.
Okay, guys.
Absolutely.
Night, y'all.